I never grew up with educators that looked like myself. I always knew that wisdom was a powerful tool, but I also know that oftentimes we neglect it because of who it comes from.
Facts.
It's not necessarily just about being a king, it's more so about becoming a kingmaker.
Man, you got to be close enough to relate, but far enough ahead to inspire. What's going on, beautiful people? This is the Let's Grow Together podcast, the place where diverse individuals and communities come to serve, connect, and grow in the areas that they're most passionate about. This your boy James. I'm joined with my brother Marcus as always. Brother Marcus, how you doing today?
What's up? What's up, good brother? Glad to be back with the people with another phenomenal episode and some good conversation, man. Brother, how was life for you, man? What's going on? Let's check in.
Man, bro, you know my famous quote, man. I'm living a dream, trying not to wake up, man. Um, I have been in a constant like feeling of bliss, bro. Like for some reason, man, things have
Mm.
been feeling and moving really well for me. Um, and man, I'm just ecstatic, man, for this conversation because this one, I think will resonate with a lot of people.
No, without a doubt, man. Very euphoric. I can definitely reciprocate that, man. Been some great engagements with people, man. Cross
Yeah.
paths with some beautiful souls, and really just in a state of paying it forward, man. Fearlessness, limitlessness is the theme. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So really rocking and rolling with that to the fullest extent.
Yeah, man. I was recently reading this book and it was talking about the different traumas that well it called it a mother wound and then like a father wound, and essentially it
Mm.
was just like the different traumas that we all deal with because of like our parents. And it was so funny, bro, because I mean obviously I knew I had some things to deal with like my parents, but like specifically my mom. And when it started breaking down some of the stuff, bro, I was like, hey, I needed this book. Like it came like I'm reading it at the perfect time.
Mm. It was connecting a lot of dots for you, huh?
Facts. Facts.
Nah. See, but I think that's where that state of bliss comes from, man. When everything is in alignment, it's like everything is connected, and essentially you're learning from every element of life. It seems like you've been in a very reflective state.
Bro, like I literally cannot make this up. Like me and my girl were talking about something like last week, and then like
Hmm.
yesterday something happened, and I was like, you know what, if I never had faith in a God, I got faith now, because it was no way that this could have happened the way that it happened. And I'm like, I'm not trying to convince nobody, but bro, it's real.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
Now I feel it kind of the same way I told you, like being in the state of just paying it forward and just limitlessness, being intentional with a lot of the connections. Like small example, I was cutting my personal grass, my own lawn, and I saw the neighbor could have used a little bit of cut. Went over there, kind of did it. Well, I started to do it, but I waited on her to pull up to ensure it was okay. Because some
Yeah, yeah.
people, you don't just cut their grass. So I asked, she was like, "Yeah, you good?" Did it, ain't really think nothing too much of it. Coming to find out, she dropped some money in the mailbox later, like just blessing, like, "Hey, I appreciate you," with a nice little personal note to set the day. And again, I didn't do it for the bread by any means. I had some
Yeah.
extra energy, some juice, and really just wanted to pay it forward. And
Yeah.
again, a lot of things are coming full circle because of that.
For sure. And it, bro, it's just our intent. Like at the end of the day, it's like
Hmm.
we are truly like you weren't looking for the money. You were just doing it because it was the right thing to do.
Hmm.
Bro, I had bought some merch from one of my young bucks, and
Hmm.
I had the money in my cup holder. So he pulls up, well, he walks up to my car. I grab the money out of the cup holder. I hand it to him. He gives me, the merch. And what was crazy is as I pull off, I look, I'm like, dang, it's still another 10 right here in the cup holder. So I was like, dang, I must have not given him the, correct amount. So I call him real quick. I'm like, hey, bro, I just want you to check the money real quick because I don't think I gave you all the money. And he was like, dang, what's crazy is I just put the money in my pocket. I didn't even check it. So I was like, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
just count it real quick just to make sure. Cause I'm like, dang, I feel bad. Like I just hopped on the expressway
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, I could turn around if I need to. Bro, he count the money. He was like, dang, it definitely was short the 10. He was like, but bro, don't even worry about it. He was like, and don't even worry about like next time you see me giving it to me. He was like, bro, you good. Like, cause you've always been solid. So I was like, damn. Never even, you know what I'm saying? Never thought nothing of it, but it was beautiful, bro. It was beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, nah, and I know he appreciated just the transparency within that, because the average, you know what I'm saying.
Bro,
But
I call him. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
call him.
yeah,
So it was a little
yeah.
different. So for sure.
Nah, I know he did, man. And last piece, because that I'm loving the synergy we've been able to build over the years, man, and just the genuine energy that really feeds off each other. Because we were also able to recently purchase some of our youngins some professional attire. And
Okay.
bro, when I tell you, like they came, we got them right, and they were just like, y'all buying all this for free? And we was like,
Yeah,
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 like we
yeah,
just we
yeah,
just want to show y'all we generally rock with y'all. And I remember one of the teachers was like, man, you should have seen their face when I told them that y'all were getting ready to bomb. They were just like,
yeah,
like what's the ask? You know what I'm saying? And we
yeah,
was like, yo, y'all done y'all thing throughout the year, so we appreciate y'all. And
yeah.
a lot of people aren't used to just people giving and not expecting anything back is what I'm starting to realize in a lot of conversations I'm having.
So, all right, because you said this is the last thing. I'm gonna try to keep this short. I do believe that you guys were asking something of them. It just wasn't as direct as they may have thought, right?
Touche.
Because I truly believe there is no such thing as something for nothing. Like y'all may
Mm-hmm.
have given them this professional attire, but for them, they showed up. They showed their commitment to excellence or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the standard was, and they continued to do the work. So they did give something. They just weren't expecting a result. And I think those are the best kinds because when people
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge the work that you're doing without you having to tell them, bro, that is what it's really about.
Definitely, definitely. Nah, you're 100% right. There's definitely some expectations to come with
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
but nothing too excessive by any means. But let's go ahead and hop into it, man. I know we got my dog on our guest, and I know we got a fire quote as always for him to bring him on in. So James, what is the quote we have for today?
All right, so this one right here is really deep, man. It says, "The most potent weapon in the hands of
Mm,
the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed." Marcus,
mm,
man, I'm coming to you first. What thoughts
mm.
spark? What's going on over there?
Man, you couldn't have thought of a better quote for the conversation we're getting ready to have. So kudos to you.
For
Um,
sure.
uh, a wandering mind. What did they always say, right? An idle mind is the devil's playground, right?
Yeah,
And I think of it in the mindset of those that are wondering don't have a destination, and if you don't have a destination, you can always be detoured. It's
yeah.
really the thought process as well. What's your thoughts there?
Man, you know my famous quote. Shout out to my mentor. His name is actually James too, but brother
Hmm.
James, he always used to say, "When purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable." And I added
Mm,
identity to that piece because I said, "When purpose and identity is unknown, abuse is inevitable." So basically, what this quote is saying to me is that when we don't know who we are, when we don't know what to believe, we will allow someone else to tell us what to believe. And of course,
hmm.
when someone is in a position of power over us, it's much easier for us to receive that from them because we believe that they're the authoritative figure. So it's like, all right,
Hmm.
what they say must go. And we never really question it. And so that is the most potent weapon because if you control a man's mind, you can control a man's identity. You can really control where
Hmm.
that man goes.
Hmm. It's ironic. I recently read this brother's book, who we're gonna
Yeah,
recently introduce,
yeah,
man, and he had a quote. I think it was by Winston Churchill or somebody,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
essentially it said something along the lines of um, the the oppressor who ultimately is the winner defines the story at the end of the day.
I know
All right.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah.
the quote is, but it's said a million ways. But it says like winners write
Hmm.
history. You know what I mean?
Something of that nature, yeah,
Yeah,
and it definitely stood out to me, and I think that's an even better way, or another way of saying exactly what you said, right?
yeah,
Those who are in position are going to be the ones that define the story, and the rest are going to be wondering in the midst of figuring that maze out. So
for
I dig
sure.
it, but man, let's bring on our guest, brother Wes. What is
Yo, I just wanted to kick back and keep listening, bro. I just wanted to keep listening. And that quote was, yeah, spot on, spot on, spot on.
what do you get when you hear it, when you read over it? What sticks out to you, bro?
Man is mind.
Mm,
If you can't think, you can't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And like how the brother was saying, it was something you had said, bro. You had tapped on. It was like identity. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's just kind of what we suffer from right now, identity crisis. Oh, that's what it was. You was talking about us appealing to authority. So in philosophy, that's a fallacy. It's appealing to authority. So it's kind of like basically just how you said, bro. It's like if the president said it, then it's true. You know what I'm saying? The president said that the sky is yellow today. Therefore, today the sky is yellow because the president says so. But yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Damn, we can't hear nothing you saying,
I
bro.
was
And I
I ain't
know
even
you
here,
getting
bro.
to it.
We gonna
Hey,
cut
that
the
boy was
last
getting
part.
to
There
it.
you go.
He
Yeah,
was
facts,
getting
We
facts,
gonna
to
facts.
it.
cut the
That boy
last
He
part.
did.
was
Hey,
demonstrating.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
He was
getting
yeah,
to
demonstrating.
yeah.
it.
So no, so yeah, I had muted myself because I was drinking water. So James, mental note, cut like 9 minutes. Um, but bro was in the green room going crazy. Like, so I knew whatever we was talking about was resonated because I seen him like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
For sure. I
yeah.
see him. Yeah, but man, I really wanna kind of dive um into you a little bit, bro, because you've studied our history deeply, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
interested in knowing what's one thing that most people get wrong about Black culture or the Civil Rights Movement specifically. Excuse me.
Can we break that down in two? So I want to answer
Facts.
that in two.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So the first one, like when it comes to like history in a whole, bro. Let me make sure I get that right.
So it says, what's one thing that most people get wrong about the Black culture or
Yeah.
the his excuse me, I can't ask this question to save my damn
Are you
life.
good?
But the question is, what's one thing most people get wrong about Black culture or the Civil Rights Movement?
Okay, so black culture, one thing we get wrong is that there is one black culture. It's not. We are the most diverse people on this planet. We speak the most languages. Like our history is longer than time itself. And I,
Yeah.
I I know that might sound like, oh my gosh, but nah, for real, before there was a clock, there was you. So I think that's one thing because I think we be trying to rush to this um singular version of culture when we're more diverse than that. Like we have a diversity within our own people. Like if we went to Africa, within like let's look at Nigeria. You have Fulanis, you have Igbo, Yoruba, you have different ethnics, which are different cultures
Hmm.
within this one group of people. And then the second question was civil rights
Yeah, the Civil Rights Movement.
movement. That's sticky, bro. I'm gonna be careful answering that just because we have a lot of living legends right now that's still in that come from that time. But from my studies of it, it just seemed like it was hijacked without our people truly knowing.
Hmm.
Um, it, I would ask like just from y'all too. What when you hear civil rights movement, what do you think of?
Marcus, I'll let you go first.
I think of it. I think of it from a Jim Crow racist area, a
Mm,
era where a lot of individuals were just discriminated against because of the color of their skin. I think about my grandfather. I think
yeah.
about those individuals that lived it that aren't too far away from us by any means. The lynchings.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
about everything when I go to the Black History Museum in D.C. and I'm pissed. I
Yeah.
think of.
Okay.
Yeah. When I think about the civil rights movement in general, I just think about specific people. Like it's not like a theme or anything like that. I just think of specific figures. But now in my development, I've been talking to some of my elders, like literally my aunts and uncles, and they've been giving me some perspective that I didn't have. Like, of course, when you
Mm,
read the history books, it tells you about the Martin Luther Kings, the Rosa Parks, and et cetera, et cetera. Malcolm X, shout out to him. His birthday was recently. Um,
mhm,
but like when I was talking to my aunt, she came from Mississippi. She came from Arkansas. Like she told me about like man, before they moved here in the 1950s, she said they lived not blocks, but like a couple miles away from where Emmett Till was killed. And so it was
mhm.
one of those things where I was like, dang, that's crazy. Like, and then she started talking about, of course, we know the Great Migration that occurred in the 50s, but it hits a little bit different when I'm talking to somebody that lived it.
Yeah.
Again, yeah. So that's kind of what I think about when I think about the Great Migration, the Civil Rights Movement, and then really just that time period during the 1960s.
Yeah, and that's why I say I'll be careful speaking on it, just because I'm in
Mm-hmm.
the same development too, bro. Just talking to, it depends on where you was at, what the civil rights movement was doing. Because,
Yeah.
like, for instance, for me, like, my grandma was in West Virginia, so like her
Okay.
view is going to be different versus
Mhm.
your aunt's. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Versus his grandfather. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the civil rights movement, it's that's just a lot to unpack because it is the ending of the Jim Crow era, which is the discrimination, how we say. I quote it just because the ugly part about the history is, at least for me, bro, I try to take my feelings all the way out of it, which is hard at times, you know.
Yeah,
But it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
discrimination then. That was the law of the land. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like we were classified as second class citizens. So it wasn't necessarily discrimination. We were really truly looked at as less than. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I will say about the civil rights. But as far as like organizations and movements and things like that, yeah, bro, like that was a great time for our people as me looking at it from a unity standpoint. Like we had a lot of different groups doing a lot of different things, but also like working in this harmonious direction, if that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, without a doubt. And if I know one thing about you, it is that you are of the community, you are of the collective culture and things of that nature. I'm curious to know, is that what drew you to go about become a history major, or what really inspired that?
Um, yeah, man. I just say it's just part of the journey. Like, you know how you just set your intentions on doing something pure, you know? I was getting out the army. Um, Came back home and I had just read the Malcolm X autobiography during COVID, like during the
Okay.
shutdown. So it was just like, whoa, brother, hold on, you know. So I just wanted to take heed to the instructions that he left behind, and it actually helped me get on my journey. So I just wanted to go to school. Honestly, I didn't have a major at first. I thought I wanted to do political science, but yeah, the history just kept. It just was more of a fit for me.
Yeah. I think a lot of times, man, like I think history should be more of a focal point in schools, but I think what should be is you should have like a capstone kind of project where it's like, all right, you go do your own research on your history. Don't don't
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
don't depend on like what the books are teaching you. Go do some independent research. Go talk to some people from these communities and do XYZ because like, man, bro, shout out to my girl, bro. She has been really huge on like her ancestry. And I
Mm.
don't know if y'all have seen this trend recently, but there's this like trend talking about like gender people are black people. Like I don't know if y'all seen that, but like Irish people. So
Nah.
like Irish people are black people. Man, do your research, man. It's crazy, but like it's been a heavy push where it's like no, like this is a real thing, bro.
Oh wait,
Like
are we talking about like the original Irish people or
I have
black people?
to be completely honest. This is me passing along information, right? But
Okay.
the dopest part about it though is like my girl started looking up her ancestry and basically she found out that one of her great great grandmas is part Irish. So of course with this whole like Irish, gingers being black thing, she was like, yeah, okay, that make way more sense. But to give y'all context, um, there are some of these people from Ireland that are basically saying that their entire lives they have been viewed as less than, very similar to us. And if you go back to that same time period during, Jim Crow in the 1960s, it didn't just say no colors; it also said no Irish. So a lot
Yeah.
of them felt as though they were a part of that movement too. So that's
Mhm.
kind of why I wanted to bring it up because, again, shout out to my girl for doing her own research into herself. But then to now find out that maybe Irish people are black people, like that to me,
Mhm.
that's powerful.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, it was definitely when they came when you had a lot of Irish immigrants come in. And bro, you just brought up a beautiful point.
Mm-hmm.
Just to even tie it to the history of slavery, it wasn't how mainstream teaches it. We all just didn't come off a boat at one time, and there was
Mm-hmm.
none of us here before or anything like that. The European came here under slavery by the European, and I know Marcus be laughing at me. So I try to I don't. I don't use race language, and when I say that, like, if you hear me say Asiatic, that means like what we consider black people, and European, I'm referring to the pale skins. So it's like when you had the
I'm sorry. You gotta get. I was trying to hold it in, bro. I'm sorry. Damn. Hey, man, you can't tell me that ain't fuck you up, James.
No, listen, because I like
Oh shit.
so
I feel it though.
so I'm
Oh
so
man.
the reason that I received that a little bit differently than you is because I also read Malcolm X autobiography and he talks about the Asiatic black man. he doesn't refer to
It's not-
Europeans as
It
pale
was the
skin. He,
pale skins that
yeah, yeah.
fucked me up. Yeah, I
No,
was
yeah,
cool
yeah,
with the
yeah,
rest.
Oh no, I just wanted to be descriptive. That's all.
yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
feel it. I feel
So when the
it.
European first came, they were enslaved as well too. But
yeah.
Mhm,
slavery wasn't shallow yet. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't shallow
mhm,
slavery just yet. It was indentured servitude. So
mhm,
a lot of the Europeans that came, they were indentured servants too. That's why you did have this big push of the African as the slave because they did better at the cash crops because that's what was ruling. Because there, even I got this one book I'm about to start peeking at now. It talks about black slave owners. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? There was even female black slave owners, and that's why like this whole history thing really just kind of I think stuck with me too because when you don't know your story, bro, you can't tell your future.
mhm,
You don't know
yeah,
where you're at.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? Like you just
mhm,
going off of hearsay, and man don't know about what someone told him. You know what I'm saying? Like, has
mhm,
anybody played a successful game of telephone?
mhm.
nah, man.
Mm.
Nah.
That's
So we
good.
gotta find
That's
for
good.
ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to harp
Yeah.
Yeah,
on it too much.
Now, bro, I really like how you just said that. Nobody has played a successful game of telephone, and it takes me
Mm,
back reminiscing to youth. The story's always going to get misconstrued at the end of the
yep,
day, right? If they're not the one telling it, or they're not the one who was in a position to alter, right, or position to be able to define how it was going to be shaped, essentially, as well. And that's one thing I've really admired about our relationship and getting to know you. Like, bro, you travel,
mm,
as you would say, man, you do your due diligence. You are very intentional with that, and I can see that's probably why that drew you to history, because you are very inquisitive, right? And you are not
yeah.
one to just receive things how they may look for face value, right? You're gonna do your own due diligence. You're gonna do your digging, and I think that may be something that, from a culture perspective, we can get a lot from as well. That is one
Mhm.
thing you have definitely charged me up with, dropping some of these names that I've never heard about, that I've done a little bit more digging on, right? Even just reading some of your books and some of the things that you're all about, where you have definitely opened up, like, and broadened my horizon to that as well. I'm curious to know. I know you mentioned
Thank you, bro.
the Malcolm X's and different individuals who shaped your thought process there. Was there other people who you gauge with, like, in just today's society in general, that played a role in really helping to open your horizon as well?
My grand sheik, so I'm a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America here in Fayetteville. And my grand sheik has been a real brother, dad, everything. Like,
Mhm,
it's a lot to take in, man. Like when you start undergoing what I'll deem it as a paradigm shift.
mhm,
Um, and it was just like that, what information overload, like you
yeah,
start just receiving all these
mhm,
downloads, man. You start going outside and doing different practices and just living your life different. And he was just really there. I can call him and just because once you start seeing your real history, you start seeing like the effects in you.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, dang, bro, I have been
mhm,
acting like this. My mom do act like that. My dad do act like this. Oh shoot, this was passed down from woo woo woo. Like, so just receiving all that, bro. My grand sheik, I have to give my biggest shout out to him, bro. Like Sheik Portisel, bro. Like just he been so solid for me, bro. Just all the brothers in the temple. My grandma has been like the conversations we have, bro, like just asking and digging with her and stuff like
yeah.
that. It's just like,
mhm,
man, just receiving, bro, her diet. Hey, yo, this is what I learned about my grandma, bro. They only ate meat one time out the week, bro.
mhm,
Growing and bro, when I tell you she 80, no dementia, walking around, do puzzles. Like, bro, I got a puzzle hung up in my room that she did. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just, I'm starting to see just it's just different. My bad. I hope I ain't go too
No,
off
man.
on it.
Hey, you all good, man. This kind of brings me to the next question. This is like, what's a moment in our history that transformed the way that you see yourself or your purpose? And like, kind of hearing what you saying, you kind of answered it, but I would love for you to kind of elaborate on that a little bit.
Be a man. And I mean that in the most respectful way. I think when I got to learn about the John Horses, the Nat Turners, the Stokely Carmichaels, the Khalil Muhammad's, it's so much more than just Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, bro.
mhm.
Have y'all are y'all familiar with Robert F. Williams?
That name
Nah,
sounds so
give us
familiar.
some insight.
Yeah, for sure.
So he was the head of the Deacons of Defense of here in
Okay.
North Carolina, and he's
Mm,
related to Ora Mobley, who actually worked with Malcolm X and she's a native of Fayetteville. Robert F. Williams, they're natives of North Carolina, and they led the Deacons of Defense. The Deacons of Defense was a group of deacons of the church, and they went to combat with the Klan. Like, yeah, even
Wow.
Ora Mobley, Ora Mobley was driven out of Whiteville, North Carolina for teaching Black history.
Mm,
Mm.
Yeah, so like just learning that, that's what shaped me when it came to my intentionality. Is that the word?
mm.
Making me more intentional
Yeah.
when it comes to my people, my history, what it is I'm searching for, and just like standing for our morals, our values, and things we believe in. It doesn't have to be influenced by the outside, whatever the case may be. Like we literally are our own people. We have our own agenda, and it's okay to have that.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
I hope that answered the
You have
question.
Oh, for
no,
sure. For
no,
sure.
it did, and you have a unique lens from like your personal evolution as well too.
Oh yeah.
Respectfully, from being a baby's kids back in the day, right, to hitting the military, the HBCU experience, and to now be in a position where you're a pioneer in the community, making impact on a day to day basis, bro. I would love to kind of walk through that journey for those who may not really know you to what really shaped you to have the lens you do today as well, brother.
Stay away from clout. I think that's what motivated me because when I seen the authenticity that comes with cameras is what pushed me away from social media
Mm,
because there's whether we want to accept it or not, these camera lenses, when we bring them around, people change. That's quantum science. That's literally
mm,
science. When they observe
mm,
the light that goes through, when there's something observing it, the light pattern, it travels different. And I see that with humans, with kids. When they
mm,
have a camera around or something like that, then they're going just like anybody else. What do people do
mhm.
before they take a picture?
They try to get themselves
Smile,
together.
make sure they
Yeah, they try to
situated. Yeah,
they try to
yeah.
Make sure
curve
it's straight.
themselves. Yeah, yeah.
So when it came, that was one of the first things I noticed, bro, like getting active in the community because I got back to Fayetteville in 2021. So we're already in the social media era by then. So that was one of the things I noticed, and I think that's what kind of motivated me to even be more intentional. Like, I don't have social media. I really care about you, bro. Like, there's things that is bothering your soul and your spirit, and the fact that it's not talked about on the mainstream or anything like that, or it doesn't get serious attention. I just wanted to separate myself from that because yeah, nah, I can't go like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think it's interesting, man, because like I think about what a person, like what a human being is. Like when we were born, like we had
Mhm,
everything, like everything that we needed to survive, to
mhm,
grow, to do everything, right? And then it's like the second we start living life, here are these different distractions. Here are these different things that are telling us that we need more, or that we're not enough, or that, and it's crazy to think about. And then you introduce something like social media. Now,
whew,
I believe, I'm one of those people that I believe in both sides of it, right? I understand the law of polarity. If there's a good, there's a bad. If there's an up, there's a down. There's an inside, there's an outside. So I understand that social media has that polarity in it, where it's like for some of us it's access, but for a
mm,
lot of us it is information overload in a sense where it's now like, all right, here I am, a little bit overweight. I'm about to start my fitness journey, but the second I start scrolling, I see somebody with a six pack, or I see somebody that's eating at the best restaurant that I love, and I'm like, oh, now I'm discouraged. I'm gonna go eat as well. It's like it's so many things that are pulling at you that it's so
mhm,
hard. So I love the fact that you said, hey, I don't have social media. Like I really care about you. But I also want to kind of joke a little bit because in the black community, when you
mhm.
pull out a cell phone and you're recording, what happens? Everybody get the like,
Yeah.
bro,
Yeah,
for some
yeah,
reason,
yeah,
Hey,
for
look, I was
some,
yeah,
wondering, like, can I do
you know what I'm saying? For
yeah,
it?
some
yeah.
reason, all this stuff start coming out, and you like, but why though? You were just sitting
Mm,
there, calm, cool, collected. You saw me recording
Yeah.
myself, and now you want to, because I do it too. Like I work with young people, they'll be doing their little TikTok. I'll walk past and just be like, and I don't know why, like, but it's just a thing, like you said. So I love the fact that you brought that up because it's so true. Like it's really true.
Yeah.
Way too natural.
Facts.
Nah, mm, that's funny. I like that though, man. But I want to ask another kind of question, like a forward thinking question, man.
Okay.
I know a lot of your thought process when it comes to history is analyzing things of the past and now applying them to things of the future. So I'm curious to know, like, right, we talk about maybe like a black vision. Like, what does
Mm-hmm.
that look like from your perspective, man? Just a future forward thinking engagement. Like, what are some ways that we can embrace the variety of our culture, just going forward to make sure that we are putting ourselves in the best position.
Family, 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 family,
Mm.
family, 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 family. And I don't just mean, oh, that's my family, I gotta be with them. No. No, 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 no. Deal with that accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Get a connection with the Most High, bro. Listen to your intuition and deal with your family accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Whatever feels the best fitting to you. Because one thing one thing I want to try to speak against is like I feel like at times we be trying to use a one size fits all for everybody. Like, hey,
Mm.
this one book will change your life. Nah, bro, it changed your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may help me or whatever the case may be, but we don't know what everybody's individual obstacle is. You know, and at the end of the day, it's up to them for them to solve that. But back to family, family. We need to know, not in a sense necessarily gender roles or anything like that. I'm not playing that game. It's just more so what is a father? What is a mother? What is a daughter? What's an uncle? What's an aunt? What's a grandma? What's the elders? You know what I'm saying? Because then we can start building. You know what I'm saying? Because the micro of any macro when it comes to community, civilization, society is the family. And I think the biggest threat to our culture, our people, is family. You know, and it's not just all the way our fault. I'm not gonna say, oh man, nah, bro, we really I feel like when it comes to our people, we're so just good-hearted at our core that we do tend to forget. Like, yo, the '50s was not 100 years ago.
Bro,
The
that was
'60s
not
was.
long ago, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Come
That was not
on.
long ago, bro.
The
Mm-hmm.
crack era, bro, like they really took the dad out the crib,
Yep.
gave a welfare check, and when he took the brother out the crib, bro, he put crack in his hand.
Yeah.
He didn't give him a GI Bill or food stamps or anything like that. He gave him something not only to just help destroy the family, but destroy himself as well. And then on top of it, they made it a culture. You got it on music to where it's
Yeah.
normalized. And that's why we're in this predicament now where we do have certain artists who probably do vulgar music going to middle schools, going to high
Yep.
schools, and they're performing this degenerosity. And that's why it's just kind of like family, man. Like we got to get back to the family. We have to get back to the family, you know?
Yeah. Hey man, I wanna read something from what I was reading earlier, and this to show you how aligned everything. I told you, bro. Like I be tapped
Yeah.
in, man. I be
Yeah.
really tapped in. So it says you cannot defend what has not been disciplined. In
Mm,
other words, without disciplining your mind and mastering your emotions, you won't have the mental fortitude and emotional stability required to stay calm under pressure, make quick and rational decisions, and protect yourself and others when necessary. All right, hold on. I got something else real quick. So I talked to Marcus. I was talking about this mother wound, right? I'm not gonna give the
Mm-hmm.
scenario, but I'm just gonna read the impact. It said the profound impact of the mother wound in boys manifests in forms of deficient emotional synchronization, particularly when guiding the son through complex emotional states such as fear,
mm,
anger, guilt, shame, etc. Consequently, this creates an attachment style in young men that will make it difficult
mm,
for them to establish trustworthy and resilient interpersonal relationships in subsequent stages of their lives. Right.
mm,
I also got it was some statistics about how when you remove the man out the house, it was like 80% of like homeless families are led by women. It was like not, and this is not a knock on women. It
no,
was
no.
actually a plus. It was actually saying like because men were basically maneuvered out of the crib, women had to step up. And as they stepped up and got strong and became these stoic women, as a result of that, when the men start to come back into the communities, it was hard. It was like two men.
Mm-hmm.
It's like two men
Mm,
butting heads now, because for so
Mm-hmm.
long the women have seen their mothers raise their families, and now the women, like bro, my girl. to this day. Go get her, do whatever she need to make it happen. I joke with her sometimes because I'm like, man, you be chasing it. Like, why you going so hard like that? You don't have to do that. But she's been conditioned to believe that she does. So even though she has a dope
Mhm.
partner that supports her, she still feels like it's her against the world sometimes, and that should not be the case. But I truly believe
Mhm.
that that was a what do you call it? That was a I can't even think a premeditated maneuver by the powers that be to really separate the
Yeah.
families. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, that was
Mhm.
that was something powerful you read too. And then just to caveat off or
Yeah, yeah.
camelback off of that, I wanted to read this because I heard y'all talking about it earlier. About the Winston Churchill quote.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
history history is written by the victors.
Yeah.
Yeah, history
Mhm.
by the victors.
And that's true, man. It's really not though. It's really just the people that had the most resources to tell a story. Cause like there was some black
Yeah,
folks that was winning. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And you know what I'm saying? But they was winning in regards to, like you said, their family. When you look around
uh-huh.
and their household, like their families was fed, they children were clothed, their house was intact. So that was success. They victorious. They just didn't have the access to tell their story.
So, so
Yeah.
the thought process with that is though that probably wasn't the standard though. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
When you look at it from a holistic, a macro perspective, as Wes talks about, like the perspective of the winner, the victor was the individual that may not look like them. You know, and essentially they were the ones who were defining the law, laying the law within that point in time. So they were the individuals that people sought out to be. Right? I wish I had that experience or things of that nature.
But real quick, it's two pronged because I see like obviously I see the truth in that because I
Hmm.
know that to be true. But there's
Hmm.
also this understanding that when we go back to what we were saying at the beginning, where it's like because someone is in authority or perceived authority,
Hmm.
they're winning. Like, but who's to say? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, who's to say it wasn't somebody doing the exact same thing? They just didn't get the recognition. Like at that
Hmm.
time, you know what I'm saying? Because right now,
That makes me think of like
yeah, yeah.
my bad. I didn't mean to
No,
cut
you
your
all good.
wisdom, but
No, you good.
it makes me think of y'all ever heard of maroon communities?
Go ahead,
So
educate
like
us.
so the
Give
so,
some context.
so the maroon communities, these are like y'all ever heard of Gullah, the Gullah Geechee?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I heard of that. Yeah,
Hmm.
So that's in a sense like an example of a maroon community. So you had these groups of slaves, they would like just revolt and they would go build their own communities.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's one thing I feel like if I could throw back to earlier question, even when it comes to like something we need to incorporate that into our history. We never just laid down during slavery. If I'm being honest, like from my studies of history, this is the most compliant we've been with the system. This
Mm,
is the most in coordination and in cooperation we have
yeah.
been with this government. Like we're not fighting back right now. We're not resisting. We don't have any effective movements, whether we want to be honest with ourselves or not. Like Black Lives Matter was the biggest slap in the face, and that's what made me go so hard. Like once I found out what that transpired to be, like bro,
Mm-hmm.
like that's when it was just like I'm tired of social media because everything's becoming commercialized. When it's just like we
Mm-hmm.
really are, we've made the hood look too cool, bro. I hated growing up in the hood. You know what I'm saying, bro? I hated being hungry. I hated going home. My mom working all the time. You feel me? Like this, that, nah, bro. Like that gotta end. That's why I say family because it's just like how the brother was speaking earlier on the statistics when it comes to like the man being out the household. It's just kind of like, bro, like where where do we even look at men? Because, bro, you said something beautiful. I ain't even gonna hold you with the men coming back, because that's what a lot of people saying right now. The black man, he waking up and this, that, and the third. But it's just like, how do we address our sisters? How do we get this family back together?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. But
Yeah, I'll read the statistics. I had to pull it up though. It say in
uh,
2020, the U.S. Census Bureau released reports called the American Family and Living Arrangements, which discovered that children in fatherless families were 4 times more likely to live in poverty. Meanwhile, in 2022, they reported the same report found single mothers led 80% of single parent households, and the
hmm.
American College of OGBYNs. I said that so wrong. Um, but basically, they issued an opinion in October 2013 titled "Healthcare for Homeless Women" that stated women-headed households represented 84% of all homeless families.
Mm,
And so it was like, and then
mm,
dude literally, he said, "Why am I sharing this with you? To demonstrate how important it is for men to substantially contribute to the financial success of their families, but of course, other ways
Mm.
as well."
mhm,
Um, but
mhm,
but bro, it was systematic. Like it was systematic. And
Yeah.
then
mhm,
the funniest part about it all, bro, is because you talked about like growing up in the hood and be not necessarily like not liking that, and then now it's kind of like
Yeah.
publicized. It's cool. I
Yeah.
talk about often about like my upbringing, and like both of my parents were affected directly by the drug epidemic. And
Mhm.
when I tell you, and because we talk about the parent wound, I'm gonna call it, it's like I had so much resentment towards my parents, right? But
Mm.
but now I'm at a space where I'm like, I have no clue what it was like to be on drugs in the 80s. Like, I don't know what that was like. Like,
It
I
was the
don't know.
norm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but
Instead
not.
of a blunt, it
Mm-hmm,
was
mm-hmm.
a rock.
But though, I ain't
Uh-huh.
never hit a blunt in my life that made me just say I'm not gonna take care of my family. I'm not gonna handle my business. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
go do what I'm supposed to. I've never hit a blunt in my life that's done that. So,
Yeah.
but though, I'm telling, you could kind of still hear some of that
yeah,
emotional trauma here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
the
yeah,
reality is now I do give grace because it's like I know what it's like to be a human trying to figure things out. I know exactly what that's like. My struggle may not look like yours, but there's a quote. It's like pain is the same. It's just painted differently. So I understand your pain may
mhm,
be different colors, but I know that we all feel pain and hurt. So because I understand that,
Yeah.
I extend so much grace to everybody that I come in contact with. It's not one size fit all. Once you show me that you don't deserve grace, I take it. But because I want you to give me that same grace, I'm gonna always extend that grace, whether I
mm.
receive it or not.
But that's the emotional maturity that has come over time with you being on your journey. You
Mm-hmm.
understanding, being able to see from the lens of other individuals, and especially, bro, you working with kids firsthand, right? So
Facts.
I feel like I know you've been seeing yourself in some of the youngins, like, okay, I know what
Uh-huh.
he going through right there, right?
Yeah.
So you were
Mhm.
able to relate, you were able to address your inner child in the midst of that, and now even being able to have some of the conversations, like, I remember like bringing pops on, man, and being able to have some of the conversations, and like I saw the shift, you know what I'm saying, in your thought process with some of those different things too, bro. And like one, I just want to commend both of y'all as well, because y'all are gonna be phenomenal dads. And sometimes that trauma and that pain that was painted within you is gonna be that blossom of a flower that come through the
Mhm.
concrete to be able to paint that picture for the next generation, bro. So
Facts.
again, everything happened for a reason. But I want to kind of address some of that. We talked a little bit about a lot of the trauma, right? Now I want to talk a lot about more of the healing. One thing
Yeah.
that you do all the time, Wes, hey man,
Come on
we
now.
be in the yard, we be on the stoop, bro. Like I'm finna ground. I mean, the first time we did it, I'm looking at him like, bro, you finna do what, bro? Kicked off the socks, bro, kicked off the shoes, and literally went out there and was like meditating, just vibing, bro. And for me, bro, it was weird in the beginning. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It was like, what is bro doing? This is foreign to me. But now I find myself, this is kind of like our routine whenever we kick it as well too. Is
Mhm.
meditating, building, but then also releasing some of that negative energy as well, bro. And I want to ask what really got you into that and the impact it's had for you over the years as well.
When the COVID, I ain't even gonna lie to you, I did not want to get that vaccine, bro. I got to thug it out the army without getting it, and then at Fayetteville State, bro, they was testing you twice a week, and I got tired of getting that thing up my nose, man. So I got the vaccine and I instantly regretted it, bro. Instantly regretted it. So I
Right.
was trying to find every way to like clean my blood and da da da. So basically, I'm saying all that to say that's what triggered me to go on this like holistic adventure of trying to heal, get connected with the earth, get my body to the most natural state, clean my body of whatever metals, plastics. Like I don't know if y'all seen this something going viral right now about how they finding plastic in people's brains.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to like just get that, and then it was just talking about a lot of things I was coming across was the grounding, putting your feet in the grass and connecting with nature, Mama Earth, or however you look at it, hugging trees, talking to the leaves, bro. I'm talking when I first started, I used to go into a tree and just breathe through a leaf. Like just
Yeah.
trying to get pure,
Yeah.
like trying to get really back one with the earth. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then I just started noticing the real difference. Like, man, if I'm all flustered or whatever the case may be, as soon as I put my feet in the grass, it's like I'll just feel like it's like a real grounding. Like, okay, I'm a human on Earth walking just like everybody else, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here. So
Hey, again, man, I'm trying not to shout out this book, but like, bro, it dropped a gem that you just made me think about, bro. It was like a lot of time because we're always moving around and doing, and we're going on to what's next. He said many of us are human doings. It said, but when we
mm,
take times for ourselves to self,
Ah,
he called it self maintenance, but he was like it's pretty much just self love. He said when we take time
yeah,
to express love to ourselves, that is when we truly become human beings because we actually are
yeah,
able to sit and be, like literally be. He was like, you always doing, you a human doing. He was like, I'm trying to be a
mm,
human being because that's when you being
I love
present.
that.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Hmm.
man.
You gotta get off autopilot sometimes, man. And it's easy to do in the society in which we live in. 9 out of 10 of us work 9 to 5s, being pretty consistent. It's routine based, and oftentimes that routine doesn't allow you time to be still as well. And even
yeah,
like I made like a little recent poem, bro. But the thing that did so much for the poem for me was being in nature. Like the background was birds chirping
yeah.
Facts.
and
Birds
lily, bro.
chirping.
Facts.
Yeah,
I'm
I found
assuming
myself
I'm assuming
really.
you sent it to
Yeah.
bruh too.
Yeah. Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
had to spread the good energy
Yeah,
with the inner circle, man, the inner
for
tribe,
sure.
without a doubt. But I found myself just sitting and even like Avery, bro. I taught my brother how to meditate. Do y'all know a lot of people don't know how to meditate? Like
Yeah,
yeah,
it,
yeah.
and I remember it was foreign to me, but I was in an environment where it was really pushed when I worked in a corporate setting at Cisco. And I remember at first thinking like everybody else, like, why am I wasting my time? But I
Mm-hmm.
started feeling the difference. I started feeling so much more vibrant. And even a lot of times now when I meditate with Avery, I find my like I'll hold her and I'll hum. And it's just the vibration alone that causes her to be still. And I noticed ever since a baby, like regardless of whatever state she's in, she comes back and she's able to be present. She's able to tone everything else out. And I realized, bro, it's so vital. It's so vital. If you don't know how to do it, you gotta equip yourself with this tool. It has been a game changer. Every young buck who didn't had a horrible day, everybody in part of the root squad, that just be a little flustered with whatever's going on. Every time we meditate, it's a refresh button where we're able to tune back in and just be present.
That's dope. Nah, you had
Oh
me
yeah, got
thinking,
one. I
man.
feel
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got a second.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
I just wanted to address too, about like the whole growing up in the hood thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like you know how it is nowadays, everybody hood clout chasing, and I ain't trying to say I grew up in Vietnam or nothing like that. You feel me? But it's just more so just like the poverty thing, and I just wanted to hint on it again, just cause it's just like I loved the people I got to grow up with, and I have a lot of loving memories
Mm-hmm.
growing up in that environment. Don't get me wrong, but I do feel like during my time growing up, there was this sense of there's more out there. Go be more. Like
Yeah.
get out of here. Go do something.
Mhm.
Now I don't feel as if that's the thing. I feel like it's more of a not even crabs in the barrel, but it's just like, nah, be happy with what you got. And it's just
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
nah, bro.
Yeah.
Don't I ain't saying don't be happy. Be grateful for sure, but like if it's one thing I feel like the program and the American experiment did on our people, it took away our want to want more. It's kind of like made us into nah, just be grateful with this, and it's just like nah, bro, we're much more. But that's all I wanted to
Yeah.
say.
Nah, you
Very
made me think
content.
about something I was gonna say a while back when we were talking. You just made it come back to me. Part of this, part of that, what you're talking about, the like, there's no like real hunger, like you feel like there's no hunger, is
Mm,
because everybody has their basic needs already met. I got
mm,
Wi-Fi at the crib, my lights on, I got
facts.
food, I got like, man, I could literally get on the internet and see everything I need to see. So like, I'm complacent, I'm content. But I want to tell you, bro, like that same feeling of people like it's more out here. There are still people that believe that because you believe that, right? There are still people
Hmm.
in this world in this reality that believe that. But I'm gonna say this to you, and I hope that it resonates to the listeners out there too. You find the world you look for.
Mm.
If you are
Tough.
looking at lack coming from a bad neighborhood, you will find more lack. If you are looking for abundance, you will find abundance. It's not going to be easy. People say all the time, life is simple. It's not easy because it is. People could tell you exactly how to get what you want. The hard part is overcoming who we already are in pursuit
Mm,
of what we want. So
mm.
I had to kind of break the fourth wall as they do in movies sometimes. But like, bro, the reality is, we said it at the beginning, bro. Like our intention is the only thing that separates us. Like and some molecular, some cells and things of that nature. But like for the most part, everybody in the world are the same. It is just what we do on a daily basis that separates us.
Nice. But that was, yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Bro, and
man.
Super
So
Saiyan real quick.
I want to ask you this question before we pivot to the growth segment, though, bro. Again, you're a part of the squad. You see the work that we do day in, day out. What
Mhm.
would an AGGF or Roots mentoring have done for you growing up, and uh, why does that impact the perspective and how you approach your mentoring as well?
I think it's just that effort of seeing another entity come in and spend time with you. I think that's the biggest thing that probably would have just meant the most to me. You know, like, oh, come on, let's just be real, bro. Like, I'm in middle school, you got me out of class, and we talking about, like, mentor stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
Like, what do y'all want to be? What do you want to be developed into? Things like that. So yeah, I think that's where Roots would have benefited me a lot. It also would have helped me see myself outside of the black character. And when I mean by black character, when we grow up, when we look on the TV, you got to be a rapper, a drug dealer, a ball player, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like just to see, oh, a mentor. What that mean? He a mentor? Oh, and then you can actually sit and talk with this person, because I think a lot of like young Asiatic males, for the most part, what I've seen in my mentor route is like um, they use sports as a crutch. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to go to the NFL. Everybody want to go to the NBA. No, they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just more so like, well, I don't see us do anything else. I don't know what else is there for me to do. I'm not getting trained in anything else. And then that's I want to tie this in there, and I hope I don't get too long with it. But the education plays a part in that because when I mentor, I come in and we're talking about John Horse. We're talking about Madam C.J. Walker. We're talking about the Black Wall Streets. We are meditating and things like that, just to plant seeds in a young mind. Because I understand when they go back to their public school curriculum, they're gonna be learning about George Washington and every other white man that called their grandfathers N words. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And it's just
yeah,
like, bro, like when can we take a stand against that? Because it's affecting their psychology. He who controls the images controls the minds. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like Roots would have gave me another image of myself in my mind. Where like, okay, hey, and then it's just like, bro, like I can talk to you, I can text you, I can call you. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember going to one of my mentees' games, a middle school game, and just meeting their mom. And the mom like talking to me like, oh, well, you need to do better, da 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 da. Whole time, like I didn't even take it as, but I ain't his daddy. I mean, it crossed my mind. You feel me? But at the same time, but the overwhelming feeling was like, I'm glad we have this comfortability. You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
yeah.
now this is a real village to where it's just like, hey, bro, like me and your mom trying to figure out what's going on with you. Like, what's going on, bro? Talk. You know what I'm saying? Speak. But once again, it goes back to the whole single mother thing and things like that. But my bad. I know I went long, but
Nah, you good, bro. You good, man. I think we say it in the intro. You want to be close enough to relate, but far enough ahead to inspire. And I
yeah.
think that as mentors, we all do a very good job of that because many of our mentees, although they come from different backgrounds, they look like us. They walk the similar walk
Mm-hmm.
as us. It might not be the same exact one, but we have a lot of gems and stories that we can leave with them, so that they don't make some of the same mistakes as we did. But Marcus, I'm gonna throw it over to you.
100%. Well, let's go ahead and pivot, man. We done had a good, thorough conversation. But bro, would
For
love
sure.
to pivot to our growth segment at this point in time, man. And the growth segment says, "Learn to be present, not in next week, not in yesterday, here today. Not anxious about tomorrow, not worried about last month. Here in this moment, right now." And this was less by our previous guest, man. What does this mean to you, and how does this resonate with you at this point in time in your life as well, brother?
Man, focus. Focus, breathe, forgiveness, grace. Like the only moment that matters is the one you in. You know what I'm saying? And I
Mhm.
think that's the whole learn to be present, man. Not the next week, because living being anxious, bro. You're not yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like when you constantly thinking about a moment that you're not in, you're feeding yourself wind. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm gonna act like this when I get that. No, you're not, because you don't even know. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? But all you can know is where you at right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of all that matters. Like, if you messed up last week, okay, cool. But what about right now? You ain't got to talk about next week. I like that. I like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, yeah. But this made me think about my football coach, boy.
Next play.
He'll tell you, look, yeah, next play. Look, you get beat on this play. Hey,
Yeah.
you better lock back in for the next one. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Nah,
Facts,
that's good.
facts.
But Wes, bro, we've had a very in depth conversation, really ranging from a lot of different arenas. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, bro, based off of that, really setting the tone. What perspective do you have for our next guest as well, man? So if you were able to leave something for our growth segment, what would that be?
Continue seeking. Continue your journey. Like, no matter what. Like, and just be. It's okay to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But just strive, bro. Just strive. You know what I'm saying? I think that's continue to seek, bro. Just continue your journey.
Hmm.
Love,
I
love.
dig that. I dig that. Well, bro, I appreciate you blessing the podcast, man. I appreciate the perspective. Thank you for being an outstanding model, man, within the city with everything in which you're doing, from where you come from to where you are now, from West letting individuals in. You know what I'm saying? We had a recent heart to heart. We had a recent heart to heart, and bro was like, "Listen, bro, I always rock with you, but I couldn't really figure you out."
Uh, uh,
And I just fell out laughing, like, bro, when I appreciate you being transparent with me, but being able to build and sometimes just let your guard down because you know genuine energy when you see it, man. And that is one thing that I love seeing in the brothers that we've been able to cross paths with. And honestly, just the brothers on the podcast here, man, genuineness is what brought us together, right? Genuinely wanting to build and develop and help others grow collectively is why we're even having this conversation today, bro. So I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for blessing it. James, bro, what do you have for us as we close out as well?
Yo, man, shout out to you, man. Continue doing the work that you're doing. It's inspiring to see, man, especially like I believe in divinity. Like I'm like this
oh yeah.
conversation came off of the back of something that all of us was probably feeling today. And now it's like, man, I feel like I filled some brothers' cup up and got my cup filled too, man. So shout out to all y'all. Well, shout out to all of us. Like, we really big on
Mm,
giving flowers on the pod. But man, if I could say anything, like you said, continue your journey, man. Continue doing the work. And I know that there are some young people that are waiting for you to cross paths with them so that they can level up.
okay, so.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
thank y'all, bro. I really thank y'all too, man. Thank y'all for walking the walk and not just talking it. You feel me?
For
Like,
sure.
continue y'all journey, bro. Y'all already know y'all opening minds and planting seeds, bro. So salute to y'all, bro. Like, y'all the change. And that's why I get to smile like this, because it's just like, when you do have a dream of the future of talking with brothers like this, like, it's a podcast, but just to have such a conversation like this, bro, like, I'm full. I done ate. This is my dinner tonight. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
Like, I appreciate y'all.
For sure, man.
Limitlessness, man, is the theme. So we're gonna keep rocking and rolling with it. But man, let's grow together, family. Thank you for joining us as always, man. We look forward to tapping back in with y'all next week. Outside that, y'all be blessed, family. Appreciate you.
Peace out.
Why I'm still trying to gamble with life. Wanna be great, it gotta come with a price. Gotta watch what you ask for. I strive for these moments in life. I'm still learning and giving advice. I try carrying the weight of the world. See, I saw when I was losing myself. I had to catch my breath. Nobody got you like you got yourself. So it's important for you to know who you are. Cause in the dark, you gotta fight with your heart. Even if your heart broken apart. But they still gon' judge me. So tell me how that's been here for me. I had to see that everybody didn't love me like everybody ain't for me. I took chances just to see for myself. Cause for the longest I've been hurting myself. Trying to blame someone else. I stand on it, don't regret what I did. Cause I can live that my intentions were real. My heart just needed to heal. Gotta get back to loving myself and trusting myself and better my health. Nobody loves you like you loving yourself. You gotta know who you are. Gotta get back to loving myself and trusting myself and better my health.